It starts with a whisper, a sound from the deep black. It is not supposed to be there. For generations, humanity has listened to the void. We filled it with our own noise. We hoped for an echo. The silence was always absolute, a perfect, star-dusted quiet. Until now. The whisper comes from Orion's heart, a place of stellar nurseries and burning gas, a cradle of creation now sending a murmur. At first, the experts dismiss it. They call it star-born radiation, a trick of star science, a magnetic field playing games. It is too patterned to be natural. It is too faint to be a threat. They log the event. They file it away. The whisper continues. It does not fade. It grows stronger, a steady, rhythmic pulse. It beats like a distant drum. The pattern is complex. It is a language of mathematics and sorrow. It speaks of immense distances and ancient timelines. It carries a single, repeating theme. A warning. The sound weaves through our satellite networks. It interrupts deep space communications. It becomes the ghost in the machine, a signal that all of humanity can feel, even if they cannot understand its words. The world's governments secretly convene. The brightest minds are gathered. They analyze the signal from every angle. They strip it down to its core components. The message is not for a single nation. It is for all of us. There is no threat of invasion. There is no demand for tribute. It is simply a warning, a plea, a signpost planted in the dark. It points to a nebula 1,300 light-years away. And it says something is coming. The whisper becomes a global obsession. News networks broadcast the sound on a loop. It is the planet's new heartbeat. People stare at the constellation Orion in the night sky. They are no longer just looking at stars. They are looking at a source, a mystery. They wonder what could be so terrible. What could make an unknown power reach across the void? What could make them send us a warning? The message has no malice, but its implications are terrifying. It speaks of an ending. It shows visions of dying galaxies. It describes a silence that spreads. The experts who once dismissed it now work feverishly. They work to understand the full context. The message is a key and a map. It invites us to the source. It dares us to come and see the truth for ourselves. Humanity has its echo. It just wasn't the one we wanted. You do not hear the whisper at first. You are sleeping a dreamless sleep, a cold, deep slumber in the heart of a mountain. You are a sleeper, one of a handful of individuals held in stasis, held for a day when your unique skills are needed. That day has finally arrived. The world needs a translator of the impossible, and that person is you. The wake-up process is not gentle. It is a jolt of warmth and noise. Alarms blare around your stasis pod. The frosted glass clears. You see blurred figures in sterile white coats. Your muscles ache with a century of disuse. Your mind feels thick, like wading through cold honey. They help you from the pod. They wrap you in a thermal blanket. They speak your name like a forgotten prayer. They show you the signal. They play the whisper for you. In your mind, it is not just noise. It is language. Your brain is unique. A rare fusion of linguistic genius and intuitive pattern recognition. Where others hear static, you see syntax. Where they find chaos, you find context. The patterns are a tapestry of despair. You feel the emotion behind the math, the sheer, unending terror. You tell them what it means. The signal is a tombstone. It is an obituary for a species you have never met. It warns of a foe that does not conquer. It simply consumes. A wave of darkness that washes over galaxies. It leaves nothing but silence in its wake. The signal is the final scream of a dying world. A scream sent out in all directions, hoping someone would hear. We heard it. The weight of this knowledge settles upon you. You are the only one who truly understands the message. The fate of your entire world rests on your interpretation. They ask you what to do. The message gives a location, a set of coordinates in the Orion Nebula. It is an invitation to witness the end, or perhaps to find a beginning. You know what you have to do. Humanity must answer the call. You stand before the World Council. Your voice is still rough from disuse, but your words are clear. They are sharp and certain. You tell them about the coming darkness. You speak of the silent armada of the dead. You explain the need for a messenger, a single ship, a single crew, a journey into the heart of the whisper. They listen. The weight on your shoulders feels heavier than a star. You just woke up. You already wish you could go back to sleep. But you can't. Nobody can. The world changes overnight. Old rivalries are forgotten. Borders become meaningless lines on a map. All of humanity's resources are pooled for a single purpose: forging the messenger. The ship must be faster than anything ever built. It must be a vessel of peace, but strong enough to survive. It is humanity's first true starship, our unified hand reaching into the great unknown. Construction begins in the high orbit of Earth, a symphony of robotic arms and human engineers. They work in perfect harmony. Shuttles ferry materials from every continent. The ship grows piece by piece, a spine of shimmering alloy, ribs of carbon lattice, a heart powered by a contained singularity. It is the pinnacle of our technology, a cathedral to human ingenuity. And it is your ride. You watch the construction from a monitoring station. You see the vessel take shape. They name it the Stardust Drifter, a poetic name for a ship on a grim errand. It is not a warship. It has no weapons to speak of. Its greatest defense is its speed and its ghost drive, a new technology designed to bend space-time, to cross impossible distances in a blink. It has only been tested in simulations. This will be its first real test, a real doozy of a test at that. You are part of the selection process for the crew. Only a handful of people will go. Each one must be the best in their field, a pilot with nerves of steel, an engineer who can fix a singularity drive with a wrench and a prayer, a doctor ready for anything, and you, the linguist, the one who started all of this. You are the reason this ship exists. No pressure. The day of the launch arrives. The Stardust Drifter hangs in orbit. It gleams against the backdrop of Earth. A silver needle pointed at the stars. The whole world watches. They see a symbol of hope, a testament to what we can achieve when we stand together. You see a lonely vessel heading into a graveyard. You feel the immense burden of that hope. It is a heavy cloak to wear. You board the ship with your small crew. The air inside smells clean and sterile. The hum of the life support is a gentle companion. You strap yourself into your acceleration couch. The countdown begins. It echoes in the silent cabin. 10, 9, 8. You look at your crewmates. You see the same mix of fear and determination in their eyes. This is it. No turning back now. This is one small step for man, and one giant leap into potential oblivion. The journey to Orion's gate is not long. The ghost drive is engaged. The universe outside your viewport twists into a kaleidoscope of colors. Stars stretch into long streaks of light. Reality itself feels thin, like a fragile piece of fabric about to tear. The journey takes less than a day, but it feels like a lifetime. Your body feels wrong, disconnected, pulled in a dozen directions at once. The ship's engineer, a woman named John, monitors the Singularity core. Her face is a mask of concentration. The ghost drive is her life's work. She keeps muttering about the energy readings. They are off the charts, far beyond what the simulations predicted. She gives you a nervous smile. "She's running a little hot," she says. "You are not an engineer. But running a little hot next to a black hole sounds bad. Your pilot, Jax, is a stoic man of few words. He guides the Stardust Drifter through the swirling chaos of folded space. His hands are steady on the controls. He navigates the non-reality with an artist's touch. He points to a ripple in the visual chaos. "That's a gravity wave," he says calmly. "Try not to think about what would happen if we hit it." You try very hard not to think about it. You spend the journey studying the signal. It is much stronger here, closer to the source. The whispers fill your mind. You can feel the sorrow more acutely now, the sheer scale of the tragedy it describes. You see glimpses of the civilization that sent it. You see towering cities of crystal, ships that swam through nebula clouds, a people who loved and dreamed under a different sun. And then you see their end, a creeping, silent tide of nothing. The ghost drive disengages with a shudder. The chaotic light outside snaps back into normal space. The view is breathtaking. You have arrived at Orion's gate, a vast, swirling nebula of reds and blues. It is a cosmic masterpiece, a cradle of new stars. But you are not here for the view. You are here to find the source of the whisper. And as the ship turns, you see it. The silence that greets you is absolute. The whispers have stopped. The signal is gone. You are at the source. But there is nothing here, just the cold, indifferent stars. For a moment, you feel a crushing despair. Did you lead humanity on a wild goose chase? Was it all a mirage? Then Jax points to the main viewer. "You need to see this," he says. His voice is barely a whisper. You move to the main viewport. Your breath catches in your throat. You have found the source of the whisper. It is not one ship. It is a fleet, a silent armada of colossal vessels. They hang in the void like a fleet of star ghosts. They are dark, dead, covered in the frost of ages. There are thousands of them, arranged in a perfect silent formation. Each ship is a work of art. They are not built from metal. They seem to be grown, like coral or crystal. They have elegant, sweeping lines, organic shapes that defy human engineering. Some are miles long, great, silent leviathans of the deep dark. They are beautiful and terrifying. A fleet of silent tombs, the resting place of an entire civilization. The Stardust Drifter glides slowly through the graveyard. It is a tiny firefly in a forest of dead giants. Your sensors scan the alien vessels. There is no power, no life signs, no radiation, just the cold of deep space. They have been here for a very long time, perhaps thousands of years, waiting in perfect silence, a monument to a forgotten tragedy. You try to comprehend the scale of it. Thousands of ships, each one capable of housing millions of souls. A mobile civilization, wiped out. The sorrow from the whisper now makes sense. It was not the cry of a single world. It was the cry of a whole people. A people who saw their end coming. A people who gathered their entire fleet to make a final stand. And failed. Gian reports that the ships are made of an unknown material. It is incredibly dense and strong. It seems to absorb all forms of energy. It is the perfect defense. Yet, it was not enough. What could do this? What kind of enemy could defeat an armada of this size and power? The question hangs in the air, heavy and unanswered. It is a sobering thought. We are so very far from home. You feel a sense of profound reverence. You are in a sacred place, a memorial to a fallen people. You order Jax to stop the ship. You float there for a long time. You just watch the silent fleet. You pay your respects. Humanity wanted a sign that we were not alone. We got one. We are not alone. But we might be next on the list. The silence is broken by a sudden beep from your console. A single, faint power signature coming from the heart of the fleet. One ship is different, right in the center of the dead armada. It is the largest of them all, a flagship. While the others are dark, this one shows a glimmer of power. A single faint light pulses from its core. It is a soft, inviting glow, like a lighthouse in a sea of darkness. Your instruments confirm it. A low-level energy reading. It is a heartbeat, faint but steady. A new signal appears on your comms. It is not the whisper of warning. This one is clear, simple. It is an invitation. A sequence of prime numbers. A universal greeting, the language of mathematics. It is followed by a simple diagram. It shows your ship, the Stardust Drifter, and it shows a docking port opening on the massive alien vessel. It is a beckoning light in the endless night. The crew looks at you. Their faces are a mixture of awe and trepidation. This is the moment of truth. The reason you traveled across the stars. Do you accept the invitation? Do you risk boarding a ship from a dead civilization? A ship that has been silent for millennia. It could be a trap. It could be a final, automated message from a long-dead race. Or it could be something else entirely. You think about the whisper, the sorrow, the warning. It was not a message of malice. It was a plea, a desperate attempt to save others from the same fate. Whoever is on that ship, they are not your enemy. They are the victims. They are the last echo of a people who face the darkness. You make your decision. Prepare for docking, you say. Your voice sounds much calmer than you feel. The Stardust Drifter moves slowly toward the flagship. The scale of the alien vessel is overwhelming. Your ship is a mere insect next to this giant. The docking port iris is open. It reveals a softly lit chamber. It is perfectly sized for your small ship. It is as if they were expecting you. They knew your exact dimensions. This was no coincidence. This was a carefully prepared welcome. Jax maneuvers the ship into the docking bay with expert precision. The clamps engage with a soft hiss. The external lights of the alien ship flicker on. They illuminate a path. A bridge of solid light forms between your airlock and theirs. The invitation is clear. Come aboard. Step into the mystery. Your heart pounds in your chest. You are about to become the first human to set foot on an alien starship. You just hope you will not be the last. You stand at the airlock. Your small away team assembles behind you. There is Gian, the engineer, and Dr. Aris, the xenobiologist. Just the three of you. A small footprint for a giant leap. You are wearing simple environment suits, not for protection from a hostile atmosphere. The alien ship already has breathable air. The suits are for quarantine, and maybe for a little bit of comfort. It feels better to have a layer between you and the unknown. The inner airlock door slides open. It reveals the bridge of light. It shimmers softly. It seems solid enough. You take the first step. Your boot meets the surface with a soft hum. It feels like walking on hard-packed sand. You lead the way across the docking bridge. You step out of your ship and into theirs. The air is still. The silence is profound. You have stepped into another world. The inside of the alien ship is vast. Incomprehensibly so. The scale is monumental. The ceilings are hundreds of feet high. The corridor stretches into the distance, lost in a soft internal haze. The walls are not flat surfaces. They are curved, made of the same pearlescent material as the hull. They glow with a faint internal light. It gives the impression of being inside a massive, hollowed-out bone. There are no signs of life. No crew, no bodies, no signs of a struggle. Just an eerie, pristine silence. The air is clean. It smells of ozone and something else. Something faintly sweet, like blooming night flowers. It is a peaceful place, a sleeping giant. You feel like an intruder in a vast, silent cathedral. The silence itself seems to watch you. Your team follows you. Their footsteps are the only sound. Jian is scanning everything with her tricorder. Her eyes are wide with wonder. The energy signatures are stable, she whispers. The entire ship is in a low power state, a kind of hibernation. Dr. Aris is taking air samples. He looks like a kid in a candy store. A very large, very strange candy store. The air is a near-perfect nitrogen-oxygen mix, he says. But the trace elements, they are unlike anything I've ever seen. You follow the glowing pathway deeper into the ship. The corridor opens into a massive central chamber. The light here is brighter. It emanates from the center of the room. You step into the chamber and stop. The sight before you steals your breath away. This is not just a room. It is a library, a museum, a testament to 1,000 fallen civilizations. You have found the Hall of Worlds. The chamber is a sphere of impossible size. In the center floats a softly glowing orb of light. But it is the walls that command your attention. The entire curved surface of the sphere is alive with images. They are silent, holographic films. They play on a continuous loop. Each one shows a different world, a different civilization. There are thousands of them, maybe more. You walk slowly around the chamber. You look at the silent stories playing out on the walls. You see reptilian beings building cities of mud and stone. You see insectoid creatures weaving nests between giant trees. You see aquatic life forms gliding through glowing underwater kingdoms. You see beings of pure energy dancing in the coronas of stars. Countless species, countless histories, each one unique and beautiful. The holograms are incredibly detailed. You watch civilizations rise and fall. You see them discover fire, invent technology, reach for the stars. You witness their art, their music, their moments of triumph and despair. It is a gallery of life itself. A celebration of the galaxy's diversity, a silent, heartbreaking tribute to all that has been lost. You feel a profound sense of connection to these lost peoples. They were not so different from humanity. They loved, they fought, they dreamed, they built, and then they were gone. Each story ends the same way. The hologram flickers, the vibrant colors of their world fade to black. The creeping, silent darkness washes over them. The same darkness the whisper warned you about. The same enemy that is coming for you. You realize the purpose of this hall. It is not just a museum. It is a warning. A visual record of the enemy's path. A galaxy-wide catalog of its victims. This ship, this entire armada, it did not fight and lose. It ran. It gathered the memories of 1,000 worlds. It tried to save something of them. A final, desperate act of preservation. This is not a tombstone. It is an archive. As you stand there, overwhelmed by the scale of the loss, a new light appears in the center of the room. The glowing orb intensifies. It coalesces. It takes on a form. It is tall and slender, a being of pure, white light. It has no discernible features, no face, no limbs, just a radiant, humanoid shape. And then it speaks, not with a voice, but directly into your mind. "Welcome, child of Earth," it says. "We have waited a very long time." The being of light hovers before you. It radiates a sense of immense age and deep sadness. But there is no threat, only a weary calm. You feel its consciousness touch your own. It is a gentle, probing touch. It is like standing in a warm ocean. It learns your language, your history, your thoughts. It learns everything about you in an instant. Another figure of light materializes beside the first, and another. Soon, you are surrounded by a dozen of them. They are the ship's caretakers, the last survivors of their race. "We are the archivists," the first one communicates. "The elder ones. We are all that remains of the first children of this galaxy." Their mental voices are a chorus of ancient harmonies, full of sorrow and a faint, flickering hope. They show you who they were. In your mind's eye, you see their original form. They were not always beings of light. They were once flesh and blood, a tall, graceful species with skin like polished obsidian. They lived on a world that orbited a binary star, a world of eternal twilight. They were the first to achieve star travel in this galaxy. They were explorers, scientists, artists, not warriors. They tell you their story, a story that spans millions of years. They watched the galaxy grow. They saw new life emerge on countless worlds. They acted as silent gardeners, nudging evolution here, protecting a fledgling species there. They never interfered directly. They were observers. They cherished every spark of life. They were the keepers of the great cosmic library. Then the enemy came. It arrived from outside the galaxy, a mindless, consuming swarm. They call it the Great Silence. It is not a civilization. It has no goals, no desires. It simply is. And its nature is to consume. It feeds on energy, biological energy, technological energy, star energy. It devours everything it touches. It leaves nothing behind but cold, dead matter, and an endless quiet. The elder ones fought back, not with weapons, but with knowledge. They tried to warn other civilizations, but the silence was too fast, too relentless. It swept through the galaxy like a firestorm. The archivist's own world was one of the first to fall. They were forced to flee, to abandon their physical bodies, to become beings of pure energy. They transferred their consciousness into this fleet, this great, silent armada. They began their long retreat. Along the way, they did the only thing they could. They gathered memories. They created the Hall of Worlds. They saved the stories of those who were lost. They became a living memorial, a final, desperate act of remembrance. This fleet is not a war machine. It is a lifeboat of memories, and they have been running from the silence ever since. Now, their long run is over. They are tired. The silence has followed them, and it is coming for the Milky Way. The elder ones show you the unseen enemy. They project a new image in the Hall of Worlds. It is a tactical map of your galaxy. The Milky Way. It is beautiful, a swirling vortex of 100 billion stars, our home. Then they show you the enemy. It is a blotch of absolute darkness at the edge of the galactic disk, a hole in reality, a patch of nothing where stars should be. The darkness is spreading. You watch as it consumes entire star systems. The light of a sun simply vanishes. The swirling arms of the galaxy are being erased. Slowly, methodically, relentlessly. The great silence does not travel through space in ships. The swarm is space itself, a wave of entropy, a corruption of the laws of physics. It is a sentient plague that eats reality. The archivists explain that the silence is drawn to complex energy grids. The more advanced a civilization becomes, the brighter it shines, the more attractive it becomes as a food source. Humanity has just crossed that threshold. Our global communication network, our growing use of energy, our first fumbling steps into space. We have lit a candle in the dark, and the swarm has seen it. The whisper you heard was their last, desperate attempt to warn you. They sent it from this ship. It was a drain on their fading power reserves. The message was a warning and a test. They wanted to see if any species was capable of understanding it, capable of making the journey, capable of standing with them. Humanity was the only one to answer the call. In a galaxy of billions of stars, we were the only ones who listened. You ask them why they stopped here, at Orion's gate. They tell you this nebula is a unique cosmic feature. Its dense energy fields act as a temporary shield. It masks their presence from the swarm, but it is a temporary refuge. The silence on is methodical. It will eventually sweep this sector of space. It will find them, and it will find Earth. They estimate you have less than a standard year. The true, horrifying nature of the enemy sinks in. How do you fight something that is not there? How do you wage war against a wave of nothing? Your best weapons are useless. Your ships are too slow. Your technology is primitive. For the first time, you feel a profound, soul-crushing hopelessness. We are not just outmatched, we are irrelevant, an insignificant speck of dust in the path of a hurricane. The elder. Ones can feel your despair. And then they offer you a choice. The choice they offer is a terrible one. The lead archivist projects two images into your mind. The first is of the Stardust Drifter. It shows your ship, crewed by the elder ones, fleeing into the void, heading for another galaxy, a place the great silence has not yet touched. In this vision, humanity is left behind. But you are not empty-handed. They offer to give you everything, all of their knowledge, their star science, their engineering, the memories of 1,000 worlds. They will pour it all into your mind and into the computers of your ship. You would become a living archive, a seed of galactic life. You could take this knowledge back to Earth. You could give humanity the tools to build our own arcs, to flee, to survive. You would be the savior of your species. But you would have to abandon this galaxy to its fate. You would have to leave billions to die. The second image they show you is different. It is an image of the silent armada. Its lights flicker on. Its ancient engines ignite. It shows the fleet, this great library of memories, turning to face the coming darkness. It shows them preparing for one last battle. A hopeless, desperate fight to buy time. In this vision, you and your crew stand with them. Humanity does not run. We make a stand. We fight for our home, for our right to exist. They tell you the choice is yours to make. You are the messenger, the representative of your species. They will honor your decision. They have run for millions of years. They are tired of running. But they will run again if it means their knowledge survives in you. Or they will stand and fight. If humanity gives them a reason to. If they do not have to die alone. You look at your crewmates. Jean and Aris. Their faces are pale. The weight of this choice is crushing. To save your people by sacrificing the galaxy, or to condemn your people to a hopeless war. It is a burden no single person should have to bear. You are a linguist, a translator. You are not supposed to decide the fate of worlds. You know you cannot make this decision alone. This is not your choice to make. It belongs to every human back on Earth. You turn to the elder ones. You have a request. You need to send a message home. You need to show them what you have seen. You need to present them with the same terrible choice. The archivists agree. They have enough power for one last, long-range transmission. They open a channel. You prepare to speak to your world. The connection is established. It is a fragile thread of communication stretching across 1,300 light years. The faces of the United Earth Council appear on your ship's main screen. They look tired, anxious. They have been waiting for your report. You see the leaders of every nation, the greatest minds of your time. All of them are waiting for your words. You do not speak at first. You let the Elder Ones show them. The archivists project the images from the Hall of Worlds directly into the transmission. The Council watches in stunned silence. They see the rise and fall of countless alien civilizations. They see the beauty, the diversity, and then they see the end, the creeping, silent tide of nothingness. They see the enemy for what it is. Then you lay out the choice. You explain the two paths offered by the Elder Ones, the path of the survivor and the path of the warrior. You explain the gift of knowledge, the chance for humanity to flee, to build our own arks and seek a new home among the distant galaxies. You tell them that this path guarantees the survival of our species. But it means abandoning our home, our history, our place in the universe. Then you describe the other path, the path of resistance, to stand and fight beside the ancient armada, a desperate, hopeless battle against an unbeatable foe, a battle we would almost certainly lose, but a battle that would be our own. A fight for Earth, a declaration that humanity does not run from the dark, that we will not let our light be extinguished without a fight. You do not advocate for either choice. You simply present the options. The fate of the world is in their hands. The transmission ends. You are left in silence, waiting for their reply. The minutes stretch into an hour. The crew of the Stardust Drifter waits with you. No one speaks. There is nothing to say. You have placed the weight of the world onto the world's own shoulders. You wonder what they will choose. Logic dictates survival, flight. It is the only rational option. But you know humanity. We are not always rational. Sometimes we are stubborn. Sometimes we are brave. The reply comes. The face of the Council's lead representative appears. An old woman with kind eyes and a strong voice. She looks at you, and she smiles. A sad, resolute smile. "We held a vote," she says. "It was unanimous." She pauses. The weight of her next words fills the space between worlds. "Humanity does not run," she says. "We will not inherit the stars on a tide of fear. We will stand. We will fight. And if we are to die, we will die with our heads held high, defending our home." The message is clear. Earth's unified reply is resolute and unwavering. We choose to fight. Your decision, humanity's decision, echoes through the consciousness of the Elder Ones. A ripple of something new, something they have not felt in a very long time. It is not hope, not yet, but it is a spark, a flicker of defiance in the face of absolute despair. For millennia they have been the keepers of memory. Now they have a reason to create one last glorious memory of their own. A change occurs throughout the silent armada. It begins with the flagship you are on. The faint internal light intensifies. You feel a deep hum resonating through the deck plates. It is the sound of ancient machinery waking from a long slumber. The Elder Ones are pouring their energy, their very life force, into the great ship. They are bringing the giant back to life. Outside your viewport, the darkness of the fleet is broken by 1,000 points of light. One by one, the dead ships are waking up. Their hulls glow with newfound power. Their engines begin to hum in harmony with your own vessel. The silent graveyard is transforming. It is becoming a living fleet once more, ready for one final battle. An alliance is born in the heart of the Orion Nebula, an alliance of the old and the new, the ancient, weary archivists, and the young, stubborn humans. The elder ones show you the capabilities of their fleet. The ships are not warships in the traditional sense. They do not have missiles or lasers. Their primary systems are defensive. They can generate immensely powerful energy shields. They can manipulate gravity. They can fold space on a localized level. They were designed to protect, to endure, not to attack. But now, those defensive systems will be turned into weapons. Jean works with the archivists. They share their knowledge of energy systems with her. Her eyes are bright with excitement and focus. She sees ways to adapt their technology, to merge it with human ingenuity. She proposes a plan to use the Stardust Drifter's ghost drive as a focusing lens, to channel the power of the entire armada into a single cohesive beam of warped space-time. It is a desperate gamble, a weapon that has never been fired. But it is your only real chance. You feel a sense of purpose settle over you. The hopelessness you felt before is gone, replaced by a cold, hard resolve. You are no longer just a translator. You are a commander, a bridge between two species. You stand on the command deck of the alien flagship. The Elder Ones are at your side. Your human crew is linked to their systems. Together, you watch the armada power up. You are ready. You are united. And you are not a moment too soon. An alarm sounds. A sensor alert. A new darkness is gathering at the edge of the nebula. A shadow appears in the void. It is not the absence of light. It is an active, hungry darkness. A patch of space that blots out the distant stars. It is a hole in the fabric of the cosmos. It does not reflect light. It does not emit radiation. It simply consumes it. The great silence has arrived at the edge of the Orion system. The unseen enemy is now visible, and it is vast. The swarm does not have a defined shape. It is a roiling, amorphous cloud of pure nothing. It moves slowly, deliberately. It seems to be tasting the nebula, sensing the rich energy fields, and sensing the concentration of life and technology at its heart. It senses your fleet. It senses the last meal of a dying galaxy, and it begins to move toward you. The Elder Ones project the enemy's approach on the main view screen. It is like watching a stain of ink spread across a beautiful painting. The vibrant colors of the nebula are snuffed out as the darkness advances. Stars vanish from sight. The universe itself seems to be unwritten before your eyes. The scale of the entity is difficult to comprehend. It is larger than a solar system, a living void come to claim you. A new feeling radiates from the Elder Ones. It is not fear. It is a cold, ancient anger, a rage that has been suppressed for millions of years. They have run from this shadow for eons. They have watched it devour everything they have ever known. Now, they will run no more. This is their final stand, their last act of defiance. They will not go quietly into the endless night. Your own heart hammers in your chest. This is the reality of your choice, the consequence of humanity's defiance. It is one thing to speak of bravery from 1,300 light years away. It is another thing to face the abyss itself. You look at your crew. You see your own fear reflected in their eyes. But you also see something else. A shared determination. A silent promise. We are here. We will not break. You give the command. Bring all systems to full power. Your voice echoes in the vast command center. The Armada responds. The light from the 1,000 ships intensifies. They form a defensive perimeter, a wall of ancient technology and newfound purpose. The Stardust Drifter moves to the center of the formation. Its ghost drive begins to whine, charging up for a purpose it was never designed for. The shadow continues its silent, relentless approach. The space between you and the enemy shrinks. The battle for the galaxy is about to begin. The great silence fills your view screen. It is a wall of non-existence, a moving tidal wave of absolute zero. There are no ships to target, no leaders to challenge. It is a force of nature, a cosmic storm, and you are about to sail directly into it. The Allied fleet holds its position, a tiny island of light against an ocean of darkness. The Elder Ones stand with you. Their forms of light burn brightly. They are the conduits for the fleet's power. They focus their combined will, their ancient energy. They are the heart of the weapon. Gion's voice crackles over the comm. The ghost drive is synced with the fleet, she says. Energy levels are climbing past all known limits. I don't know if she'll hold together. You reply with 2 simple words. Make it work. The enemy is now in range. The first tendrils of the darkness lick at the outer edges of your defensive shields. The lights on the command deck flicker. The hum of the ship deepens into a low growl. The ship is straining. The entire fleet is groaning under the pressure. The silence is not attacking. It is simply present. Its very existence is a weapon. It leaches energy. It drains power. It pulls at the very fabric of your reality. Now, a chorus of 1,000 mental voices says in your mind. The Elder Ones give the command. You relay it to your pilot. Jax, fire. Jax's hands fly over the controls. He reroutes the entire energy output of the Stardust Drifter's singularity core. He channels it through the ghost drive. The drive was designed to bend space, to create a tunnel for travel. Now, it will create a spear. The Stardust Drifter unleashes a torrent of raw power. It is not a beam of light. It is a ripple in space-time, a focused wave of distorted reality. This wave is amplified by the energy of the entire alien armada. It becomes a lance of pure physics, a weapon forged from the laws of the universe itself. The first salvo, humanity's first shot in our first interstellar war. The lance of warped space crosses the distance in an instant. It strikes the heart of the great silence. For a moment, nothing happens. The darkness simply absorbs the blow. It swallows the energy whole. A feeling of despair washes over you. It was not enough. But then, a change, a flicker. At the point of impact, a light is born. A violent, raging star of impossible energy. A wound has been torn in the fabric of the void. You have made the nothingness bleed light. The great silence recoils. For the first time in 1,000,000 years, it has felt pain. The war has begun,